Welcome, wanderer or wanderer-to-be. If you are currently watching this informational video, then you are part of one of the two groups which contain all of humanity, those who are trapped in the backrooms, and those who should fear entrance to the backrooms. In either case, our first piece of advice is and always will be the same: don't panic. Panicking will not save you. It will make you irrational and weak, and there are many things out there with ill intent that will only find your panic exciting. To date, there have been no recorded escapes from the backrooms, so please, pay very close attention in order to achieve best results. Today, we will be covering two extremely important topics. The first is the nature of the backrooms themselves. And second is the nature of Level 0, the universal point of entry to the backrooms. We imagine you have many more questions than just that, but we advise that you be patient. You have plenty of time, and we are bound to address everything you're wondering about soon enough. So keep breathing. Remain calm. And above all, don't panic. The first question is the most important: what are the backrooms? As their name suggests, the backrooms are a location, but one that is hiding behind the reality we know. A place that should not be. An infinite space that does not abide by the same temporal, linear, or spatial laws that govern the universe we call our home. Entrance to the backrooms is often purely accidental, a process known as no-clipping. They are a perfect liminal purgatory, a space hiding between spaces, equal parts tiny and limitless. But what exactly is no-clipping? Those familiar with video games may already be somewhat familiar with the term. An extremely common form of video game glitch is to clip, that is, to pass a part of your character's body through a solid object or piece of the environment, such as a wall or the floor. In the rare and dangerous places where the fabric of our actual reality is equally thin, it is possible to clip through our world into the backrooms. It's an instantaneous process, here 1 second, and over there the next. While this is far from an exact science, through our research we have discovered that there are places that are statistically more likely to cause no clipping. It goes without saying that these places must be avoided at all costs. Unless, for some reason, it is your intention to make a one-way trip to the backrooms. If ever you find yourself in an abandoned building, and one wall appears to be a shade darker than the others, it is imperative that you stay away from that wall. Should you touch that wall, or, even worse, lean against it, there is a good chance that the next time you blink, you'll find upon opening your eyes that you are now in the backrooms. Similarly, if ever you should see a door or entrance in a strange place, such as freestanding in a forest or field, or up against a wall that logically shouldn't be there, never approach it, never touch it, and most importantly of all, never open it. While it might be a mere architectural oddity, there is also a high likelihood that this door leads directly to the backrooms, and those who enter cannot exit. Sometimes, you may enter an area that, at face value, does not seem strange, but carries an unsettling, almost paranormal energy. Perhaps you're in a supermarket late at night with almost nobody around. Maybe you walk down a back alley, a shortcut to your home that you couldn't remember being there. If you find that your hair begins to stand up on end, or you feel a peculiar electrical current in the air, or even just a general sense of unease, there's a good chance that the area you currently reside in has some kind of aperture straight to the backrooms. In which case you must get out of there immediately. You could even be in danger in your own home doing something as simple as walking up the stairs. Missing the top step and falling forwards has, on rare occasions, been said to lead to you falling directly through the floor and into the backrooms. This is believed to be a transient effect that passes from staircase to staircase after facilitating 2 to 3 passages into the backrooms. You never know which staircase is an active passageway at any given time, so it is always best to exercise proper caution in these matters. And of course, if ever you find yourself looking at an object that just appears to be wrong for reasons that are hard to articulate at first, you should resist the urge to investigate or interact with this object at all costs. So-called glitched objects, especially ones that demand physical interaction, such as chairs, often intersect between our reality and the backrooms. Interacting with these objects in any fashion may cause you to no-clip into the backrooms. You'd be shocked to learn how many people have disappeared after noticing something a little bit strange like that. So it is best to exercise extreme caution. You have an approximately 1 in 10,000 chance of entering the backrooms at any of these apertures. Some spend years trying to gain entrance. Others get in on their second or third tries. But most unfortunate souls fall into the backrooms completely by accident. If you enter by any means, you are most likely to enter through Level 0. If this is the case, we have both good and bad news for you. The good news is that, in terms of lurking entities, Level 0 is one of the more harmless levels on record. However, this will be an education in the multitude of ways the backrooms can hurt you beyond attacks from physical or metaphysical entities. Level 0 is a potentially endless, non-linear maze of rooms similar to the back rooms of a retail outlet, hence why they were first nicknamed the Backrooms. While no two rooms in this level are completely identical, you will notice some superficial similarities: aging, yellowed wallpaper, uncomfortably dark carpeting underfoot, and inconsistently placed fluorescent lighting up ahead are all hallmarks of Level 0. The lighting is of particular note as wanderers trapped in Level 0 report the light both flickering and buzzing constantly, leading to a mentally distressing effect. The buzzing of the lights is significantly louder than the typical buzzing expected of non-anomalous fluorescent lights, and examination has yielded no results as to the power source of any of these lights. Like everything in the Backrooms, it appears to simply not make sense by the typical standards of our reality. While your growing thirst may compel you to investigate the liquid that never seems to fully soak into the carpet below, please bear in mind that the nature of this liquid appears inconsistent. In some instances, it appears to be pleural fluid, which is the liquid that floats around the pleura, a two-layer membrane that covers the lungs and lines the chest cavity. One thing that is for certain is that the liquid is never simple water, and under no circumstances should it be regarded as safe to drink. As we alluded to earlier, Level 0 of the Backrooms is not subject to the typical laws of linear space. You can keep walking in a single direction and find that you have returned to your starting point despite never taking any turns. You can also attempt to retrace your steps, only to find that the rooms behind you have been altered beyond recognition. One could say that it's easy to get lost in Level 0 of the Backrooms, but really, it would be more accurate to clarify that there is, by definition, no state on this level other than lost. Ergo, if you are here, you are lost. Analog compasses and modern digital GPS locators consistently fail on Level 0, and any radio communications are extremely distorted at best. This will only serve to increase the overpowering sense of loneliness and isolation you are expected to feel while trapped in Level 0. This is because it is exceedingly rare, to the point of near impossibility, that you will encounter any other wanderers or even entities, hostile or otherwise. This world is still and devoid of life. We have theorized that many have died while attempting to navigate Level 0 of the Backrooms from a variety of unpleasant causes, chief among them being dehydration, starvation, and through self-destructive actions in the aftermath of isolation-induced trauma. However, despite the likely validity of this theory, no actual corpses have ever been found. Perhaps Level 0 is so large, wanderers trapped there have simply never had the opportunity to run into other dead bodies on the level. Isolation is truly an inevitable result of being trapped on Level 0. Even if you enter the Backrooms as a group, your group will be separated and spread across the level until all of you are able to exit. You will not escape being alone here. Due to the mixture of isolation, stress, physical deprivation, and high CO2 content in the air in Level 0, hallucinations are common in victims of this level. Through the survivors, we have been able to catalog the most common hallucinations experienced here. These include, but are by no means limited to, the following. Sufferers claim to experience humming of the fluorescent lights above rising to deafening levels, and then suddenly returning back to a normal volume. The appearance of doors or the appearance of stairs, both perhaps functioning as a desperate fantasy of easy escape from this extremely stressful situation. Victims of this level are also likely to experience an acute sense of déjà vu as time passes, with the pattern or appearance of the endless rooms of Level 0 seeming to become eerily familiar to them. Auditory hallucinations of voices are also exceedingly common as the hours and days drag on. Sufferers will claim to hear voices speaking to them in a manner that appears distinctly human, but conforms to no known language. This will often be accompanied by unsettling, insect-like chittering. Around this time, people trapped on Level 0 will also begin to experience optical hallucinations in their peripheral vision. They will claim to see insect-like creatures skittering underneath the aged, yellow wallpaper. However, if they attempt to observe this movement directly, it will immediately cease. It is only possible to enter Level 0 of the Backrooms through no clipping, and no clipping is also the only known way to leave. In order to exit, you need to adjust to your environment quickly and begin an extensive search for an area of the level unstable enough to facilitate your next no-clip. You are essentially in a race against your own imminent succumbing to deprivation or madness setting in. Once again, we reiterate that it's crucial that you don't panic upon being transported to Level 0. This will only expedite the most unfortunate possible outcome. Take deep breaths and collect yourself as soon as possible. There is, though, one room located on Level 0 that appears to be different from the rest. Walking a great distance in any direction may grant you the brief reprieve of being transported into the manila room. This is a moderately sized room with distinctive wallpaper of a light beige yellow color similar to that of manila paper. The yellowish and paper you're probably most familiar with from its use in large envelopes. The furniture in the Manila room will often be a simple set of wooden chairs and a table, and it's possible that you may get to interface with other wanderers here, staving off the worst of the effects that come from extended isolation. The room is lit by bright, white fluorescent lights that emit a constant, and somewhat annoying, buzzing sound, and you may find that they cause you to experience negative psychological and other mood-related issues. However, these lights will also sometimes turn off without warning, and during these periods of zero light, you may hear what sounds like distant voices, yelling and machinery coming from outside of the room. When you first appear in the back rooms, it is extremely important that you make certain internal mental preparations as well as external actions. This is a 4-step process that falls under the overall umbrella of accepting your fate. We'll make it very simple for you. Step 1, as we've alluded to throughout this informational video, is to avoid panicking at all costs. Nobody is at their best when they are panicking. It will cloud your mind and judgment, disrupt your relationship with your senses, and may even lead you to make noise, which may attract unwanted attention from dangerous or hostile entities. Remembering this will save your life someday. Step 2 is to make a mental note of your surroundings and try to identify which level you are on. Don't worry, we will discuss other levels in future informational videos, along with everything you need to properly identify them. We are here to help you. Trust us. Step 3 is to stay where you are, because attempts to escape may simply result in you being transported to an even more dangerous level, which is, of course, the last thing you want, is it not? And finally, step 4 is to accept the back rooms as your new home, because you will never be leaving. There are no exits from the back rooms. And if there were, they would be on the other end of many extremely dangerous levels and seemingly impossible occurrences. These are simply things it would be better not to deal with. Simply trust us on this. This is your life now. 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 This concludes today's informational video. Thank you for your close attention. Please tune in next time for discussion of subsequent levels, and the equipment that it's best to bring into the back rooms if you want to stay alive. Just don't panic. We are here to help you.